Saturday night's main event has concluded from the Delta Center in Salt Lake City, Utah. And in this video, I'm going to be going over everything Saturday night's main event. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts on the show, what went down, what did I think of all the matches, how did everything go, and where do we go from here. I'm going to be breaking it down right here in this video. I'm going to be giving you my thoughts. So without further ado, let's hop into this review. Just to kind of start everything off, before we fully dive into this card, I want to start off by saying that I thought this show was generally a good reflection of where WWE has been in 2025 with its generally sparkless and lifeless approach to how they book their cards. A lot of the serious angles and a lot of the very visible angles on this show really came across sparkless, came across uninspired, and I think that's really reflective of where WWE's been all year. WWE's 2025, which in my opinion has just been missing something. It's been missing creative flair, it's been missing creative spark, and this show really kind of acts as a reflection of all of that. It acts as the symbolic reflection of everything WWE has brought to us this year. So I want to get that out there to start things off before we fully dive into this card, which was only 4 matches, by the way. Another thing that fully reflects WWE's 2025 and really all of their pay-per-views. They only do 4 or 5 matches, which is a really frustrating thing that they do, but that was how this card went down. Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship started off the show. I thought this was their best match together, much better than their WrestlePalooza match, which I never really thought got off the ground. I never really thought that the crowd picked up what they were putting down. I never really thought they got off of the second gear. I just always thought it was missing something, and it didn't feel like a main event, and it was a big reason as to why WrestlePalooza was as negatively received as it was. Now, this match they had at Saturday night's main event, I thought was a little bit better. It was just better worked. It was much more streamlined, better crowd engagement. There was just more here. Still a lot of room to improve, and I did not like the finish. I'll get into that in a second. But the overall work we saw, the quality, the work rate quality we saw was generally fine. But the finish was really what did it for me when it came to topping this off the way we wouldn't want them to. So Cody Rhodes DDT Drew McIntyre either inadvertently or potentially on purpose on his WWE Championship, and that was the end of the match. He pinned him 1, 2, 3 after that, and so the eternal teasing of Cody Rhodes' potential heel turn continues, which in my opinion is very unfortunate. I think Cody Rhodes is the most honest and earnest babyface that WWE has had in years. I mean, you think of every babyface that WWE has had, Roman Reigns, John Cena, like all of those guys, all of the babyfaces that WWE has tried to build their company around, all those babyfaces that they have tried to really invest in, but it's all been manufactured. It's all been overproduced and overdone, and because of that, the crowd saw right through it. The crowd could not get behind it the same way WWE was, and so the crowd wasn't going to play ball. But they're playing ball with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is extremely over. He sells a ton of merch. He connects with the kids. He's a great babyface, and he connects on an earnest level. People earnestly and honestly engage with him, and we don't see that a lot with modern-day babyfaces, and now we're just going to turn him heel. I don't understand that logic. It doesn't make any sense to me. And teasing him turning heel doesn't have any legs to me. That doesn't stand on anything. That doesn't communicate with me. It just doesn't speak to me. I don't feel connected to that angle or that thing they're trying to get me to buy into, Cody Rhodes turning heel. It just doesn't speak to me. I want them to stop doing it. It doesn't do anything for me, man. Anyway, for Drew McIntyre, he increasingly comes across as more illegitimate and more pathetic by the day. He lost, obviously, at WrestlePalooza, and now with everything stacked in his favor, I mean, I forgot to mention that this match had a stipulation in his favor where if Cody Rhodes were to get disqualified for any reason, Drew McIntyre would become WWE Champion. Champion's advantage basically didn't apply here, and because of that, Drew McIntyre had everything stacked in his favor, and he still came up short. And honestly, from a logical perspective, I don't even think this is smart. A smart way to approach booking this match and putting the match together, because if you look at it, Drew McIntyre needs to go over. If he were to win the title He needs to do it by pinning Cody Rhodes. He doesn't need to do it because Cody got counted out or something. So one, it doesn't make Drew McIntyre look good because he looks weak. He doesn't look good because he had everything stacked in his favor. He still couldn't get it done. So how am I meant to believe that he's going to beat Cody Rhodes at Survivor Series or whenever they do it next? I can't buy into that idea. And two, if you're going to put over Drew McIntyre, he actually needs to go over. Drew McIntyre needs to go over. He needs something that can get him over the line. He needs to pin Cody Rhodes because he needs that rub. He cannot just win via countout. He can't win via disqualification. That's pathetic. And that's a pathetic way to try and get Drew McIntyre over, because it's not going to let us buy into him as a legitimate heel that we can believe in any more than we already are, which, let's be honest, we aren't already. I mean, he's lost to Cody Rhodes. His heel character is one-dimensional. I can't buy into him. So Drew McIntyre's character is, in my opinion at least, in a very bad place, and he needs renewed belief from the office, so from Triple H, everyone who invests resources in him, and from the fans, because right now I don't think anyone believes that Drew McIntyre can be the next guy to carry the torch from Cody Rhodes going into WrestleMania. It's just not a believable idea, and part of that is down to the booking and how he's been presented. I think it's been very poor. The next match was Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton. These two, they worked hard. And I thought the agenting was fine, I guess. I thought it made sense. I thought from a psychological perspective, the agenting of this match made perfect sense. They put over the fact that Tiffany Stratton had a bad knee, and they really played on that during the match. They worked pretty hard, and Stratton's leg gave these two a nice anchor to work the match around. And when I say that, I mean that Tiffany Stratton had something that she could come back to as a babyface to kind of show off her babyface sensibilities, to reinforce the fact, hey, I'm the babyface in this match. Here's my knee. It hurts real bad. Cheer for me, right? That kind of sympathetic approach. She was able to kind of confide in her knee. She was able to sell that knee. And I thought it gave them a nice anchor to work the match around. However, Jade Cargill in execution, her control sections came across very just going through the motions. It came across less like a brutal onslaught and more like it was just lazily done. Like we're just trying to crawl our way to the finish, specifically near the end. So I wasn't too invested in what Jade Cargill was giving us, but I thought Tiffany Stratton sold her leg well. I thought the agenting was fine, specifically from a psychological perspective. I thought it was good there. But I just don't think these women really met the agenting where it was trying to get them to meet. You know, where the agenting was at and the type of match that was put together, I don't think these women were up to the challenge of executing what the agents had put together for them. So this match was so-so, very so-so. Penta, Dom, and Rusev is up next. This was a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. There's not much to say on this. It was a really crafty match. I thought the agenting was pretty strong. However, Dominic Mysterio needs a pretty sizable reset when it comes to his reign and how he is presented in his reign. Right now, he is going up against Rusev and Penta, and he's been going up against those two, specifically Penta, since like WrestleMania. I mean, this is a pairing, Penta and Dom, that we've been seeing for months now, and it's time we move past this. Quite frankly, I've seen enough of these two, Penta and Dom. Rusev ended up, they put together some interesting stuff here. Rusev had Penta in an accolade, a camel clutch, and Dominic Mysterio rang the bell, thinking that, it made Rusev think that it was over, that the match was done, so he could get Rusev to release the camel clutch, and so Penta wouldn't tap. And this was a pretty crafty thing that they did. I appreciate that. It was pretty creative. But just from Dom's perspective, he needs new guys to mix it up with. That whole Raw mid-card needs a refresh. It needs a sizable reset, because right now, what they're doing with Penta, what they're doing with Rusev and Dom, which is just going to continue to get played out. We're not finished here. Rusev and Dom, I'm sure, is going to have a singles match at some point, maybe at Survivor Series. I mean, we'll see. But it just needs a refresh. It needs a reset. The Raw mid-card is just wandering into nowhere. I don't know where they're going with that. I don't know what they have planned. It feels very uninspired, very sparkless, which again is what I said near the beginning of this video, which is this whole show was very reflective of where WWE WWE is and where they have been all year with their television. It's been very sparkless, been very lifeless, and this is another reflection of that. CM Punk versus Jey Uso was our main event, and this was just not compelling. It didn't grab me. It didn't grab many people. I don't think, from what I saw online, it was very clunky in parts. There was a clip going around on Twitter that had CM Punk getting Jey Uso up for a swinging net breaker, and Jey Uso botched it. He didn't know what was happening. There was a slight miscommunication, and there was a few situations that just came across as clunky, came across as really undercooked, came across as really just bad and mismanaged on behalf of Jey and Punk. I just don't think this was a good in-ring pairing. I don't really want to see these two in the ring again. Punk ended up winning. I'm happy. I'm happy it didn't go to a no contest, because part of me was expecting that. Part of me was worried that it could go to a no contest. Obviously, with Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed lurking in the shadows, kind of mad that they weren't in the Battle Royal, I was worried that this might go to a no contest. It didn't. CM Punk won after a pretty clunky match, a match that, in my opinion, wasn't worked to Jay's benefits. It was a match that Jey couldn't really live up to. I don't think he can rise to that occasion. Jay's just not fit to wrestle in main events, and this is an example of that. I'm glad Punk won. I'm excited to see what he does, but I'm just apathetic at most things that WWE are doing in their main event right now. I think I've been apathetic towards it for most of the year, and you know what really would have shaken it up is a Braun Breaker world title win. I've been a big Braun Breaker fan for a long time. I still am. And Braun Breaker winning here at Saturday Night's Main Event, winning the world title, potentially over CM Punk, I don't know where you go wrong with that. One thing that WWE's main event has been missing all year has been missing a spark. It's been missing a bite. It's been missing an edge. Everything, it feels like an old person's home in the main event. You got Punk, you got Cody, Seth, although he's injured. You know, everyone's above the age of like 37 or 40. And it feels like a retirement home in there. Braun Breaker, he would have intensified the demeanor. He would have significantly intensified the demeanor of that main event. He would have given it some edge. He would have given it some youth. He would have given it some purpose. It would have feel like we're actually going somewhere with the main event. It would have feel like we're actually moving somewhere and something is being accomplished. And for that, I can't say that I cared that much that Punk has won. I wasn't doing cartwheels, but I am happy for the dude. I am a Punk fan. But there was just better ways to handle this match. And for that matter, there were better ways to handle this whole show. If you can't tell, I was not very high on Saturday Night's Main Event. I have not been very high on many Saturday Night's Main Events. I think the whole concept, how they've treated this Saturday Night's Main Event revival has not been handled well. How they've approached it, I don't think has been handled well. I don't think they've given it the care that it needs. I don't think they've given it they haven't given it the tone. They haven't given it the structure it needs. There's just a lot of things missing, a lot of vibe things missing, a lot of tonal things missing that need to be cleaned up for this, for Saturday Night's Main Event, for these shows to be successful consistently. And in my opinion, this just wasn't it. Now, one of the more positive parts of tonight was that a 16-man tournament was announced for John Cena's final match. So whoever wins that tournament will face John Cena at Saturday Night's Main Event in Washington, D.C. in December. That's cool. I think that'll give Raw and SmackDown some purpose, specifically SmackDown, which needs it. I'm excited to see that something happened there. I'm excited to see, what we can do there. I do think Gunther is going to win that tournament. I think Gunther and Cena, even if it's not for a title, if it's kind of stakeless, although it's Cena's final match, it's not going to be stakeless. I do think that's going to be what they go for, John Cena and Gunther. I think that's what they're going to go for Cena's final match. So we'll see what happens. Gunther's been off TV for a while. I can't remember the reason as to why he's been off TV, but I think he returns in this tournament. I think he ends up facing Cena and retiring Cena. So we'll see what happens in that tournament. That was a positive. I like that idea. But this show, again, it's very reflective of WWE in 2025. Kind of sparkless, kind of lifeless, and yeah, I'm feeling kind of apathetic towards some of the stuff they're doing. Right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please do leave a like and subscribe down below. That would mean so much to me. It would help my channel grow. It would help this video get seen by more people as well. So I would really greatly appreciate it if you could do that for me. So until next time, guys, I'll see you in my next video.